Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. In this video, we go through the monthly report, letting you know all the juicy details from the last month. Before I do, I just want to say a big thank you to you all for all the support from the viewers, to all of my patrons, channel members, Twitch subscribers. I am truly grateful. Thank you all so much for allowing me to do what I love to do. Also, keep your eyes out for the Prowler giveaway secret code somewhere in my video. All of the information into how to enter and what you can win is linked in the description below. So the latest monthly report is out and it has some very interesting details. So let's take a look and see what CIG have been working on in the last month. For animation, they worked with the social AI team working on ship hangars, general inspection places, bar patron idols and actions, and bridge control seats and lockers. They also worked on the reloading and malfunctioning animations for all weapon classes and continued developing the stumbles, knockdowns, body dragging, and what happens when a player is injured or incapacitated. I would love to know what CIG's intentions are for what happens when you get knocked out or incapacitated. What do you see? What can you do? This ties into the bounty hunting mechanic and the medical mechanic. It's something to discuss in a future video once we get a little more insight, I think. Finally, for animation, tools were also created to enable quick data renaming and video conversions. The environment art team progressed with Pyro 1 and Pyro 2, which will make full use of the Planetech version 4. They're currently creating new geology and vegetation packs and putting them into the new planets. They say look out for an unstable star, hostile landscapes, and dangerous plant life when it launches. I am so excited to see what the Pyro system offers. We got a couple of images to show this off. We got to see Pyro 2, which is a coreless planet picked clean during the metal rush, and an image of new vegetation, which just looks incredible. I can't wait to see all the diversity of the locations and the plant life, studying them for various reasons and so on, maybe some of them being dangerous or poisonous. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, on to ship art. They progressed with the Crusader Hercules. The bulk of the exterior is now grey box complete, while the thrusters and turrets are currently being worked on. Inside, the bridge is also grey box complete, and the rest of the upper deck, including the hab area, is making great progress. The interior doors are complete, and the large hold is starting to take shape. Now, they are making major progress here. We must be getting the ship sometime soon. I have done a recent video on the Hercules looking at the most recent sub-images and the progress, which I have linked in the description below. It also mentions that work on an unannounced ship has continued. No idea what this could be. Could it have something to do with the ICC visiting Origin? I will be working on a new video soon talking about what I think might be coming this year. The US ship team kicked off the Crusader Mercury Star Runner. As we know, they're working through the cockpit grey box and the cargo holds. Progress was made on the wings and turret exteriors too. It's also making great progress. The ongoing improvements to the Origin M50 entered the polish phase, and the Cutlass Blues prisoner pods were tweaked after feedback. These are the two ships that are coming to Alpha 3.10, which was previously 4.0, so it'll be nice to get them in game. Now, the weapon team iterated on the Bayring GP33 grenade launcher. They fixed a few issues and brought it up to the current standards. The Lightning Bolt Company Atskav sniper rifle and Yubarev pistol received final art and LOD passes, and the Gemini C54 SMG was reviewed by design, which led to its dimensions being significantly trimmed down to make it feel more like a submachine gun and less like an assault rifle. We will have to put these weapons through their paces when we get them in our hands. Another video that is in the works is a showcase of all the current FPS weaponry in the game, so I will wait to get these in our hands before I put that out. For backend services, work begun on a new dynamic mission service, and support was provided for theatres of war, the entitlement processing, iCache advanced query, and iCache login flow. So some great progress in all of these important areas. Hopefully CIG will bring us a bit of a deep dive look into the iCache, kind of explaining what it means, what it will unlock in terms of gameplay once implemented as well. It is such an important system for persistence, and it does touch a lot of other systems as well, so hopefully we'll hear more soon. For characters, tech artists finished their zone cut tool, which allows the art team to cull hidden geometry under clothing. This is important for layering different clothing types on, like jackets over jumpers, over t-shirts and so on. Art is currently being created for various carnivorous species and the Horizon tourist character. So this kind of harks back to the recent Calling All Devs that we had, talking about the plans for adding fauna into Star Citizen. Towards the end of the show, they mentioned that they are currently concepting some more dangerous creatures, and this Orison tourist character will likely be the person who takes us on the space whale tours around the gas clouds of Crusader. So some exciting stuff there. The engineering team made a lot of progress on body dragging to ensure that it is as real as possible. Physics-wise, they made improvements to the load and spawn time for entities, reworked the processing of dead-marked entities, and optimized the check areas function. Basic ricochet behaviors was also added and made deterministic. Hopefully this will create a little more danger to the firefights, and they integrated physics into the main development stream. They also wrapped up the mesh refactor for the Gen 12 renderer. They relocated shader objects to resource containers to improve material shading during object container streaming, and further cleaned the loading and refreshing of the shader system. For hair, they have created a new slider for creating a salt and pepper look, and improved scattering of blonde and bright hair. And for the ongoing ocean work, they upgraded the buoyancy physics to make it more functional with the new changes. They've fixed motion vectors on deferred oceans and added subsurface scattering to improve the appearance of crest waves. Now, this was amongst a lot of other engine work which unfortunately was not written in layman's terms, so I have no idea what it all meant. Anyway, on to gameplay features. The team worked to support initiatives for Arena Commander, Star Marine, and Theatres of War, and also the Invictus launch week, which is to do with the free fly. Still no dates for this or for Theatres of War, unfortunately, but we know it is going to be May that we get our hands on all this. They also begun preliminary work on the new player trading app for the Mobiglass. They say the first phase focuses on the ability to send currency between players, with later revisions extending this to physical inventory items. I am so happy that they are working on this app. It is going to be kind of a game changer for multi-crewing, being able to pay people for anything and everything that they do for you, or even, pressuring people into paying you for some reason. So the vehicle feature team continues to rebuild the HUD using the new building blocks technology. Last month, targeting and missile lock UI were worked on heavily. They're improving how IFCS, which is the Intelligent Flight Control System, which controls how your ship flies based on various things. They've improved how this copes with the imbalance of ship thrusters. For example, when a thruster is damaged, the imbalance will cause undesirable power delivery to make controlling the ship more difficult. Now, progress on docking was also made, with the team figuring out how to connect ships while the physics engine reacts appropriately, and they supported research and testing to improving ship combat. Now, it is excellent to hear that the physics engine is reacting well with docking. This is going to be big news for the hauling and trading and the bigger ships in the game, in particular the Hull C. I'm telling you, it's going to come this year, but great progress on docking. Good to hear. For the graphics team, they continued their crucial work on the Gen 12 Vulkan renderer, with focus on getting the first version of the complete graphics pipeline up and running. This is the first of several major milestones for the year. Again, it's great to hear progress on this. This is their main focus for the year, so great to hear that they're getting it done. The organic shader used for vegetation and rocks is currently receiving a long-planned upgrade, which adds many new features and integrates into the PlanetTech version 4. This allows for much better integration of assets into planetary terrain. Hopefully this just means less rocks. That would be nice. The long-awaited real-time environment probe feature was completed. This allows bounced lighting and reflections to be recomputated dynamically to account for the ever-changing lighting on rotating planets, orbiting space stations, and lights being turned on and off. Oh, and destroyed interiors. Now this we recently saw on the most recent Inside Star Citizen. It'll make a huge difference, especially to exploring Rex planetside. It does look impressive. Hopefully we get to see a bit more on that later down the line. The level design team continued work on Orison. They also made updates to Grim Hex, which involves finishing the internal racing kiosk, making structural changes to the asteroid, and adding hangars, which obviously, as we know now, includes the XL hangars. They also worked with the feature teams to ensure that the new restricted areas and ATCs, or air traffic controllers, are working as they should. The lighting team looked at adding a day and night setup for Lorville, which will create different ambient moods depending on the time of day. They also replaced some cube maps with the new runtime probes tech to help the lighting feel more grounded during the day and prevent areas from appearing too glowy or dark. Several team members also looked into adding the same features to the exteriors of surface outposts and underground facility locations. Again, this was the stuff that was mentioned on Inside Star Citizen. Now, the props team made new props for the mission team to help them prototype future content, and new tools were introduced to the animation workflow to speed up 3ds Max processes. For AI, focus was given to improving several aspects of the patrol path tech. Combat AI started the month off improving stability and fixing bugs in 3.9. They also set up compound usables. For example, maintenance or inspection operations on the Gladius might use generic animations in most locations, but a more complex section of the ship may require specific animations. I do wonder if this has anything to do with how we will interact with our ships, both internally and externally, sort of leading on to the engineering mechanic. Maybe. Let's hope so. Functionality and visual quality were further developed for vendors such as the bartender, and a pass on wild lines and secondary sub-activities for the vendor behaviour has allowed the team to significantly improve the visual fidelity of the behaviours. They're also enabling AI to differentiate between open and closed bottles and act accordingly. The system design team started implementing the new refining station kiosk. This will be used by players to convert their raw materials into refined goods that can be sold for higher prices and in the future used to craft items. Now, I wonder what it means by crafting items, because I was always under the impression that we wouldn't be able to craft things. I wonder if they've changed their mind there to some degree. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. So when this refining station is live, players will have to take their mixed materials to a station with refining capabilities and then start a refining job. Based on the type of refining process, the materials they want to refine or discard, and how busy the refinery is, the players will pay a price and the job will begin. Now, refining will then run even if the player is not present at the station or even logged into the game, and once finished, the player will receive a notification and will be able to return to the station to collect their goods. So it does sound as though ships like the Prospector and the Mole will not be able to even filter the materials they have mined, like getting rid of inert materials. I honestly cannot remember what CIG intend here, as I'm sure one of the devs said one thing and then another dev said something else that contradicted it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I am excited for these cargo and refinery decks, and they will add a lot of functionality to the game once they come. It'll be interesting to see people come and go about their business. Work continues on resource management and item control, with the team undertaking initial prototyping to ensure everything planned works correctly and will scale properly with future content. The vehicle tech team incorporated a new in-game system that will be revealed at an upcoming event. What is this? I have no idea, so do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. A new life support item is in development that will allow ships to repressurize after their internal atmospheres have been vented. This will also work in stations, outposts, and other room-based structures with airlocks. Now, this is great. I cannot wait to get the engineering mechanics in the game. And this is all part of that. Life support systems will obviously involve oxygen, and as we've heard here, atmospheres and room venting. So it's going to be a physical item that kind of can be damaged. But finally, several Alpha 3.9 bugs were addressed, including debris-related issues that now make vehicle destruction much more visually satisfying, and the mining feature was also expanded. Now, the UI team progressed with adding 3D support to the building blocks UI tool, which will make it much easier for designers to add 3D vehicle and character icons to a screen without relying on the programmers. Also, they finished the first iteration of the new UI kit that makes it easier to set up pages by using ready-made components. This will also make it easy to restyle for different manufacturers as well, so each manufacturer will have their own design. They also worked on improvements to the targeting, missile lock, and landing UI, and for the actor team, UI supported the creation of the new inventory system. So firstly, this new building block system is incredible, and they are crunching through it all very quickly. Having the 3D elements will look great, especially on the more upmarket ships like Origin and Misk, and locations like New Babbage, for example. Secondly, hearing that they are working on the landing UI, which will hopefully be what we have on our ship hoods, helping us land more safely, is great news. And thirdly, the creation of this new inventory system is what we will likely be using once they implement the physicalized inventories, which I am seriously looking forward to. No longer having a magic mobiGlas bag of all our weapons and armors, only what you carry is what you'll have. I expect we will hear a lot more surrounding this inventory system in the upcoming months, but it's exciting to hear that they're working on it. For visual effects, work on the Atkav sniper rifle and Yubarev pistol begins. These Electron weapons require new functionality not seen in Star Citizen before, so extra time went into identifying missing features and communicating it to the weapons team. Alongside this, pre-production started on size 12 torpedoes and the reworked mass driver weapon. The ship and environment fire propagation system was developed further. This will spread fire based on various material parameters such as fuel, surface type and oxygen levels. They also plan to make the fire interactive with the environment and player interactions such as wind blowing it around or maybe reacting to players' fire extinguishers. It is going to be so much fun putting out fires in the engineering department, for example, during or after a fight. It'll be incredible just seeing these things break out while you're trying to keep the engines running, grabbing a fire extinguisher and putting them out in the middle of the action. Cannot wait for that. So codework was done for the new particle system features such as alpha erosion, angular rotation, child ribbons, and emission size scaling. And finally, the visual effects tech art team spent time finalizing the fragment tool that's used to save small sections of the Houdini network. This will be particularly useful for gas cloud authoring and procedural generation. So that's the monthly report. There was a lot of incredible work done this last month. Pyro, docking, money transferring, refining, and so much more. Do make sure you let me know what you're excited for, and if you do enjoy my videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the like button and tick that notification bell so you get notified exactly when my videos go live. Also, come hang out with us over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers Ryan. Having a great time over there discussing stuff like this. Thank you to my patrons and channel members. Thank you all so much for the support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.